class. This is Course 2, Lesson 57, Negative Exponents and Scientific Notation for Small Numbers. We've talked about laws of exponents, and here are two new ones that you may not be familiar with. If a number is not 0, then a to the 0 power equals 1, which just means that any number, not 0, to the 0 power is 1. So if you have x to the 0 power, that's 1. Or 256 to the 0 power is 1. Or negative 3a to the 0 is 1, as long as that's in parentheses. Anything to the 0 power is 1. A to the negative 1 power then is going to be the reciprocal, which means right now this is a to the negative 1 over 1, and we need to write its reciprocal, which is 1 over a, and then make the power positive. So it was negative 1, now it's positive 1. So if we had a to the negative 7th power, that would become 1 over a to the 7th, positive 7th power. If we have 7 to the negative 5 power, that becomes 1 over 7 to the positive 5 power. If you have 10 to the negative 8 power, that becomes 1 over 10 to the positive 8th power. We're going to use this fact right here when we get into scientific notation for small numbers. Okay? So, don't freak out when you see a negative exponent. It just means make the reciprocal. Now, having said that, the sign of the number does not change. Meaning sign of the base does not change. So if you have, notice in any of these, I did not make this a negative number. Okay, this is not negative a over 7 or negative 1 over 7 to the 5th power. It's not going to change to a negative. Okay? So let's simplify 3 problems here. Press pause if you want to try these on your own, and then come back and see how you did. So 2 to the 0 power, remember any number as long as it's not 0 to the 0 power is 1. 5 to the negative 2 power, negative 2 power means write the number as a reciprocal with a positive power. And then we can evaluate that because we know that 5 times 5 is 25. So it's 1 over 25. 10 to the negative 3rd power is 1 over 10 to the 3rd power, which is 1 over 1,000. 10 to the 3rd power means 3 zeros, so 1 over 1,000. Okay, so let's write some numbers in scientific notation. So we've done this before for large numbers. The rules are still the same. We need to have one non-zero digit in front of the decimal, and it's going to be times the power of 10. But when we use large numbers, we're making really big numbers, so we're multiplying by a positive number of 10. We're multiplying by 10 for large numbers. And now we need to divide by a power of 10 to get a small number. But we never divide. Don't divide. We need to multiply. Okay, so we are dividing, but we need to show that division as multiplication. So we need to multiply by a negative power of 10. So this is really 1 over 10 to the 6th power, which is dividing this by 10 6 times. So we are moving the decimal still to the left, and I like that negative symbol. It kind of makes a little arrow going to the left, so if that helps you remember. Otherwise, remember that a -6 means you're really dividing by that power of 10, which makes it a smaller number. So we're still going to move the decimal 6 places, but this time we're going to go to the left. So we're going to I'm going to put a leading 0, and then we're going to need, let's see, if we move it 1 place there, and we need to move it 6, so we're going to need 5 zeros, and then the 4 6 3. So let me just double check. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so if I want to write numbers in scientific notation, I need to do the same thing that I did before. I need to figure out where my decimal would go so that I have one non-zero digit in front of the decimal. So this would be 3.3 times 10, and then I need a power. Now this is a very small number, and in order to change 3.3 to this very small number, I would move the decimal to the left. So I know that I need a negative power of 10. So how far would this go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 10 to the negative 9. Okay, so from my experience, the trickiest part is are these negative powers, whether they're powers of 10 or just a number to a negative power. It just means make the reciprocal, and then the power becomes positive. So it's no different than learning to capitalize a letter at the beginning of a sentence. It's just the way it is. So if you can get that situated in your brain and just know that that's what you do every time you see a negative exponent, you'll be doing really well. Otherwise, make sure you ask for assistance, and I'll be glad to give you a hand. With that, I'll see you in class.